All righty, all righty, all right.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. You know, it's not a thing. It's no Thanksgiving songs out there.
That is true.
Like, it's no because you
Well,
got
there is
all the
that.
Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, for those like hip hop heads that listen to Corday, he has a Thanksgiving song on that album, his debut album. It's actually really good. But it's, I mean, it's not like a popular theme that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you ain't playing Corday at the family Thanksgiving.
I am
with your mom, with moms and the family.
Yep. Just that song though,
I'm
not the other stuffs.
We need to come. Somebody,
not the heathen
me
stuff.
You need to come up with a Thanksgiving. You said not the heathen, not that heathen music.
Not the heathen music.
We need to come up with a Thanksgiving song. It's not out there. You got all the Christmas, but no Thanksgiving song.
Well, Bruce, this is your opportunity. I mean, you've always said that you wanted to. You think you have a career in music. So I mean, this is your opportunity, bro. Yeah. I mean,
turkey and mac and cheese. Don't forget to add the collard greens on Thanksgiving. What a jam!
Wow.
Grandpa, please pass the yams. That's a sample. I'm not gonna give you too much. I don't, because it's a lot of copywriters out there, so I don't want to give you too much.
That was impressive.
Man, look. That's what I do, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that.
That's
but
just what I
that
do,
was man. that was impressive. Anyway.
Yeah. They said y'all need a theme song.
Yeah, we do. Hey, if any of y'all can produce a theme song, send it over. I mean, that would be great. Yeah,
right.
We're not paying
for the free.
We don't sell enough merch for that.
Let's just put it out there, right?
But yeah, we could use it anyway. Exactly. Welcome everyone to Deep Dish in Sports. This is episode 43. 43. No bear down breakdown 43. This week, obviously, because we were granted with grace and mercy from the football gods that the Bears had a bye week and we did not have to endure pain and suffering.
Right.
On Holy Sunday. So no bear down breakdown. This is a regular episode. So we're going to talk. We have a lot to talk about today. We are going to discuss the Cubs, Theo Epstein stepping down as the president, and Jed Hoyer stepping in. Our thoughts on that. We're going to also break down the Bulls draft picks. They drafted 3 guys. One of them was a stash away player from overseas in the second round, which made sense. But we're going to break down the 2 players that we will see in uniform this upcoming year, Patrick Williams and Devon Dotson, Chicago native. I'll share my screen and we'll live react to some of their film, their draft scouting videos. Then we're also going to talk some Trubisky versus Foles, maybe. I don't know, man. I mean, it's the talk of the town, I guess. It's the talk of Twitters, of Bears Twitters.
Okay,
and
I guess. All right,
because we only talk about mediocre quarterbacks here in Chicago. That's all we can talk about. But anyway,
right,
we'll talk that and preview this Packer week. We got, good Lord, the Packers coming up prime time. Should be a blast to watch. But anyway, we what we normally do on regular episodes before we go into all the sports stuff, we like to just catch up, because we don't record regular episodes every week. So and it's also 2020. We all know what this is doing to our mentals. And this is a podcast that cares about that kind of stuff.
My God.
So anyway, if this is your first time listening, first time viewing, first time whatever, I'm Eli, by the way. And that is my buddy Bruce.
And I'm Bruce.
Just like to throw that out there because I feel like it's necessary.
Hello.
Just throw that out there. Random colored guys.
Who are these
deciding to jump on the mics?
Right.
Yeah, this is our podcast. So welcome.
Right.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, we care about our mental health here in this universe. And we like to just start it off with asking each other how we doing. So Bruce, how are you doing?
Man, look, you know what? I think I'm officially at that age where I'm emotional, man. I'm really emotional, bro. I don't know what's going on with me, but like, man, like I was watching.
Dude,
first of all, shout out to the Fresh Prince reunion. If you haven't watched that, check that out. It's great. It's great.
That's for my segment later. But
is that your? Okay. But the thing is, like, bro, like I was super emotional.
You and me
like,
both.
Eyes was watery, bro. Man, but it's just been moments within the last like couple of weeks where, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if it's just at that age. I'm at that age where things are just hitting me different, but I don't like it. I don't like it because once upon a time, it took a lot for me to get like just in tears, but lately it's just been like, man, I see a dead squirrel in the street and I'm like, I wonder if you're going to heaven or hell. And if you're going to hell, I'm crying because somebody should have saved that squirrel's soul. Bro, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, man.
That's deep.
But dude, I'm just at that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think it's just my age.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can blame it on that.
I'll just charge it to that. I'm just getting old. Yeah, like my son. So wait, okay. So real quick, I'm sorry. My son got a haircut yesterday, right? And man, I told him, I was just like, man, son, like you're not the baby in you. It's gone. It's gone. And like I was about to get emotional and he left. He was like,
you need to calm down, bro.
We're not about to do this now, Dad. I'm about to go play the game. I said, come have a moment with me, son. He said, well, do you like my hair? I said, it's cool, man, but you're not a little baby no more. He was like, all right. And he left and he went out. He didn't want to share that moment with me. So
he's at that age where he's just you're not cool enough, bro. You're not.
I guess so. You're
not cool enough.
Yeah.
I'll get there. I'll get there eventually.
Man. Yeah.
I feel you on that, man.
Yeah.
It's
how you been, bro?
I mean, I feel like it's a broken record at this point, not just with us, but just in general. But I mean, it's been a rough year.
Right.
It's been a rough year. It's been weird. Like just going through the motions and getting emotional for no reason. I just find myself, in that deep thought face look. You're just like staring into space and you don't blink for like 15 minutes. And then you just start thinking of stuff that you don't really think about.
What's going on?
Like, what? But yeah, I mean, surviving.
Right.
Surviving this tough world that we live in. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
but we gonna be okay, man.
Like Kendrick said, I'm effed up, you effed up, but if God got us, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
Wow. Can you imagine somebody saying that across a pulpit? That'd just be,
man.
You want to talk about?
I mean, it would be fitting though.
2020 being really weird.
I would stand up and be like, "Amen."
Pastor Jenkins quoting. Amen.
You preaching right now, bro.
You speaking the truth, Pastor.
Anyway, yeah, we're surviving.
Yeah,
we are surviving. All right, let's jump this episode off with a segment that we do every episode, every regular episode. We like to call it Pizza Bouquet, and it's our segment. Oh, dang!
Pizza Bouquet.
I should have laid it up there for you. That was nice. I talked over it. I'm
you
sorry.
did? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
you did. No, it's okay.
I did not expect
it's
that.
okay because it was unexpected.
You gotta let me know next time.
It was unexpected.
You gotta
so
see.
it's all
Hold up, E.
Yeah.
And then just throw it.
Right. I got something for you.
Yeah, it's called Pizza Bouquet, and we call it that because it's our way of kind of giving flowers, so to speak, to a player. We give a shout out to this player that wore the number that coincides with the episode number. So today's episode 43. We're going to pick a player that wore the number 43 that is either underrated or people forgot about, or a really good player in their time for any sport. And the way we do it is one player or one person, me or Bruce, picks that player, and then we give the other person hints on to guess this player. The last time we did this, where it was Bruce's turn to pick the player and I had to guess, he stumped my ass. And pre-show, you said that if I guessed this player, you would be very surprised. So I feel like you're going to stump me again. If you pick a player that I don't know, I'm going to end this podcast and we're going to call it a day. You're not about to embarrass me again. That was an embarrassment last time, but no, we can't.
Say we can't have it 2 times in a row. All right,
I hope so.
I think you're gonna get this one though. All right. Okay, so the first clue is he is a 3-time Pro Bowler. 3-time Pro Bowler, running back, 1-time Super Bowl champ. He is a part of the all decade team. So all 2010.
He played. Is he still playing?
Team.
Okay, he's retired.
So no. Career started in 2005, and he actually just retired last year. So let me give you the clues again. Running back, 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time Super Bowl champion. He's part of the Hall of Fame all 2010s team. Career started in 2005. I can't give you the team because I think you'll get it.
AFC or NFC?
Who he played for. He started his career the AFC, ended his career in the NFC.
Wore the number 43 as a running back.
Oh, God. Played a total of 14 years.
I'm gonna be.
Oh, you're gonna be so.
I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you really are. I'll give you. Okay, I'll drop one more clue. He played for a total of 3 in his 14 years. He played for a total of 3 teams.
Running back wore the number 43. Just retired last year. He wore the number 43 for his entire career. For every team.
Yes.
He's a running back.
Yep.
Can you describe his style?
So upset, bro.
Like, was he a speedster? Was he a power back?
Think Tariq Cohen.
I know it. I know it now. And that clue just gave it away. So man, it's Darren Sproles.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, I got it at least. All right, that was a good one.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a great one actually.
Darren Sproles, bro. Yeah,
that's a great one.
Darren
I wanted him on the
Sproles.
Bears for multiple years.
He had a great career, man. He had a really, yeah. I mean, just going back to his, of course, he started off with the San Diego Chargers, but it really wasn't until he got with New Orleans and the way,
Sean Payton.
Who's the coach? Oh my God. Who's the coach for New Orleans?
Yeah.
Sean Payton. I'm sorry. The way Sean Payton used him, the way Sean Payton used him just really changed just the dynamic of that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then he went to Philly and had a solid career in Philly as well. But man, 14. I mean, to think how small he was, and to play 14 years at the running back position. Now, granted, he wasn't in between the tackle, but still, it's a position that required a lot of physicality, and for somebody his size, only listed 5'6".
That's crazy. And he still had burners too. Like even
really, dang,
when he was starting to get older in his career, he was still outrunning guys.
Oh, no doubt. Yep. Had he did some punt returns, and so man, Darren Sproles, man. When I was looking at his career, I was like, oh wow, this dude pretty good.
Who did he win a Super Bowl with?
It's pretty good.
Was it New Orleans?
Oh, young Darren Sproles. Philly. Was it Philly?
New England? Didn't he go to New England for like a year or two?
I got it right in front of me. No. It was
Philly?
Okay. Philly.
That's a good one.
Yep.
So it's a very, very good one. Good pick. And I got it. You didn't stop me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. All right. We're going to jump it off with Chicago Cubs. And we're going to discuss it's one of those
baseball team, right?
It's one of those. One of the ones in Chicago.
Okay.
The Northsiders. Right. Theo.
Right.
I was going to say Jed Hoyer. Theo Epstein stepped down as the president of baseball operations. I mean, insane what he did with this Cubs team in 9 years. He completely flipped it upside down, a lot like what Ryan Pace did with the Chicago Bears defense. We talk about it all the time. But I do have some stats on Theo Epstein and what he did with the Cubs. So in 9 seasons, first 3 years were kind of those rebuilding years. Getting rid of the older players, the older contracts that were on the team, getting some young, talented players, throughout the farm system. And so started in 2012. 2015 was the first year that we went to the playoffs. 4 or 5 total playoff appearances.
Right.
6 straight winning seasons. The longest such streak in the franchise since 1967 to 1972. So it's been a while. 6 postseason rounds won. Now this one's crazy. So 6 postseason rounds won.
Wow.
And this is crazy. So from 2015, 2017, we've won 6 postseason rounds. From 1909 to 2014, we only did that once. The Cubs only did that once for almost 100 years.
Wow.
From 1909, actually over 100 years.
Wow.
1909 to 2014. And Theo Epstein did it 6 times in 3 years. Insane. Obviously won the 2016 World Series.
Yeah.
We saw 248 players appear in a Cubs uniform. 22 All-Star selections throughout his 9 years. 705 regular season wins that he helped build. Just an incredible 9 years as the Cubs president, and it was something that we were expecting. He had very high expectations coming from Boston to the Cubs in terms of his reputation and building up franchises that were struggling. And he succeeded.
Right.
He succeeded without a doubt. And
definitely.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on Theo in his career?
Well, I mean, round of applause for Theo, man. And I think he's leaving at the right time, because if you look at his track record, what he does is he builds, and then once it's at a level where he just feels like he can't do anything anymore, then he'll go to his next, whatever he's going to do. So he put the Cubs in a position where our expectations as fans is World Series or bust. And once upon a time, it was, well, maybe we could get a wild card, or maybe we could sneak into the playoffs. But when he came over and one of the key things that he did was rebuild the farm system. And like true Cub fans or true baseball fans know, you don't have a successful baseball team without a successful farm system. And so that was the first thing he did. Now, granted, it took the Cubs losing, and he was upfront with that. He was upfront. He said, we're going to tear this thing down and we're going to build it back up. And he did just that with the farm system, drafting Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber, the trade that he made to get Anthony Rizzo, the trade that he made to get Jake Arrieta. Like, people forget, like, Jake Arrieta was a project in Baltimore, and I don't even remember who he traded, but he got Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop. And those two guys were huge in the Cubs getting their first World Series in like 600 years. So it was tremendous what Theo Epstein did. He leads now. There's a lot of question marks on the team, but and this is what I love about what the Cubs are doing, because sliding right in is Jed Hoyer, who was under Theo Epstein. So once again, it's somebody that the players know, that the players trust. Ricketts and his his family, they trust Jed Hoyer and what he's about to do to kind of get that team back to championship level. Again, as Cub fans, the expectation for the Cubs is World Series or bust. And it's not a lot of in Chicago, we can't say that about all our teams. And so for Theo to do that, to build this organization where that is our expectation, hey, man, job well done. Job well done. Right off into the sunset.
He definitely set the gold standard.
And I'm going to root for him. I'm going to root for him moving forward.
For, the Cubs and building this roster. But yeah, Jed Hoyer steps in, who joined the club pretty much at the exact same time that Theo did. So literally from 2011 up till now, he had a front, courtside seats to what Theo was doing, and you gotta have faith in that as a Cubs fan, and that's got to make you feel good that a guy was literally had the best seat in the house to witness how Theo ran that operation, and now gets his chance to implement his Cubs fans would hope the same the same result, the same in terms of, building up a roster. So, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I mean, and if you I'm sorry, go ahead. No, and again, like, we look at the Cubs last year, this past season, and we understand the severity of what, with COVID and everything. I mean, they won the division. They won their division. And yeah, granted, they didn't perform well. And honestly, haven't performed well, in the last couple of years in the playoffs. I think they're like either 1-7 or 1-8 since 2017. But again, I just look at the fact that the expectations for this ball club just moving forward, like it's no more, retool, do what you need to do, but it's the standard that Theo has left.
Definitely
this is what we expect move, year in and year out.
And it's going to be very interesting to see what this Cubs roster looks like going into next year. I know that Jed Hoyer has come out and said that he expects the roster to definitely look different under his control. So, there's a bunch of rumors out there about, Chris Bryant maybe being traded, Wilson Contreras, Javi Baez. There's a lot of rumors out there floating around, but yeah, I'm excited as a Cubs fan. I don't think they're gonna, in terms of where they teeter, up or down. I think we're teetering up. I mean, it's what Theo said in his presser that was very revealing, and very honest, and I appreciated it as a Cubs fan. And we talked about it last week on Bear Down Breakdown, but about him enjoying and being better at the process of building up a team, and not really enjoying and not being as good at the process of keeping the team good. That was really cool to hear. I mean, you talk about Theo Epstein, a guy who's
right.
A guy who's had a handprint in building up two of the most storied franchises in the MLB, and the Red Sox and the Cubs. That's very honest right there as a guy who's had a lot of success. So you got to hope that Jed Hoyer is
I agree.
The opposite of that. You got to hope that Jed Hoyer is the guy who is good at not rebuilding, because I don't think the Cubs need to rebuild, but just retooling and keeping that same standard of success.
No.
And I think he will. I have faith that he will.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jed Hoyer.
Yeah.
Jed
Hoyer. That's a baseball name for you.
Jed
Hoyer.
J-E-D.
Yeah.
You know the rapper J.I.D.?
Jed.
Now we got a J-E-D.
J-E-D.
Anyway,
there you go.
Yeah, we'll
meow,
see.
Meow, meow, meow.
I'm excited for the future. Let's move on to some Bulls news. Because we had some pretty important things happen this past week. The Bulls, the new look Bulls, the new regime, new management had their first draft. As part of the new Bulls, the new era Bulls. And we had the fourth pick in the draft. There was a lot of speculation in terms of what the Bulls would do with the pick. Were they going to keep it? Were they going to trade up? Were they going to trade back? And to my surprise, because I thought a trade was going to happen, to my surprise, the Bulls stood pat. No pun intended, because they drafted a guy named Patrick Williams with the fourth pick. You see what I did there?
I see
Drafted Patrick Williams,
like
number 4.
Yeah.
Kid out of Florida State. And interesting because I heard rumors on draft day about the Bulls being very interested in this kid, and I texted you. And I said, I'm going to read the text just straight up, quote for quote, okay? I said, Patrick Williams, who dat? And you said, athletic 6'8" wing, played for Florida State. This is where it gets interesting, guys. He said, I'm becoming a Jazz fan if the Bulls draft him with the 4th pick. Man. And you said he's projected top 10.
I was so mad.
Bulls don't need him.
I was so upset.
When you have other needs. And shortly after that, I said, guess you're becoming a Jazz fan.
Right. Oh man, I went researching for a Donovan Mitchell jersey. They too expensive. So
Bulls took Patrick
looking for somebody
Williams,
else, somebody cheaper.
And I was like you.
You make me sick.
It was hilarious.
You saved that text message.
Hilarious. But yeah, Bulls took Patrick Williams, and I was pretty skeptical when the pick, right away.
Yeah,
I know a lot of fans on Twitter were kind of angry about it too. Bulls Nation, as like they call themselves on Twitter. But
yeah.
I mean, it was a pick that wasn't like super sexy. Obviously, you still had a couple of guys on the board that I thought the Bulls liked more. That kid from overseas. I don't know his name. I think his name is Advin, something like that, first name. And then Obi Toppin, another kid who was linked to the Bulls. But they went with Patrick Williams. A guy who did not start in college. He was He was college basketball's sixth man of the year, something like that. He won that award for college basketball last year. And I mean, he's literally what you said, a very athletic 6'8" wing. But after watching some tape on this kid and kind of doing a little bit more research, I've grown to like the pick. And I also, we have to trust AK and Mark Eversley, right? They're the regime that we've been waiting for. It's the change that we've been waiting for. So we can't look at this pick and be like, this is just another Bulls pick. Another good defensive, not great at anything specifically player who, is just going to willow and go to another team. Like, we can't think of it that way, because not only do we have a new regime, we have new coaching staff, new player development. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for this kid. What are your thoughts on Patrick Williams after you digested it a little more?
Yeah. So again, as you read in the text message, it wasn't the thing that initially I didn't want is I wanted the Bulls to draft somebody that they needed, which was a playmaker. Okay, so when you told me like the Bulls are thinking about drafting Patrick Williams, I'm like, why? We have enough wings on this team. Zach LaVine, Otto Porter,
Chandler Hutchison.
I mean, the kid, who did they draft a couple of years ago? Hutchison? Chandler Hutchison. So we have those athletic wings on our team already. So draft somebody that you needed. And so that was my initial, like, I really hope that they don't draft this kid. Now, with that said, it was nothing against Patrick Williams. He was a lottery pick. I watched a lot of I'm a huge Duke fan. So I watched tons of ACC basketball. And the one thing that for those that watch ACC basketball, particularly Florida State, they were such a well-rounded, deep team that he just didn't get a chance. He just didn't get a chance to start. Leonard Hamilton, who's the coach at Florida State, he is huge on upperclassmen. So if you're an upperclassman and you could play, you're going to start. And they had tons of upperclassmen on their team. The thing that I loved about Patrick Williams is, though he didn't get a chance to start, he was their glue guy. He was the glue guy for that Florida State team because he does so many things great. The one thing that you hear a lot about Patrick Williams is not only is his ceiling, you don't know his ceiling, but the kid loves to play defense. Like what?
Yeah.
19, and he's one of the youngest kids in the draft. I think he was the youngest in the draft, maybe second, but 19 years old, and he's still growing. Like he's 6'8". He has an NBA body now. And he loves to play defense. So I'm not mad at the pick. I think the Bulls got, they got a good player. Time would tell. And this is just overall, like draft grades annoyed the heck out of me because how do you draft
paper?
Yeah, like winners and losers of the draft. Based on what? What are we basing this off of? Like who wins, who loses? Yeah, so Bulls fans, just relax. Just because you don't know who he is or you haven't seen him play and you're only going off what other, non-informative Bulls fans are saying on Twitter or social media, that means absolutely nothing. I was talking to somebody on Facebook that night, and I was like, just because you don't know who he is, doesn't
I was going to say
sucks.
that I feel like a lot of people look at the stats. A lot of people look at the 9 points per game.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or the only 4 rebounds per game, but he's supposed to be, a bigger dude. So they look at those things and they immediately criticize. But I mean, you look at Devon Dotson, who went undrafted to us. Obviously, the Chicago native. We'll touch on him a little bit later, but I mean, he scored almost 20 points per game at Kansas, and that's a big basketball school. So yeah, it's not always about
Kansas,
stats.
Exactly.
That kid literally scored almost 20 points per game and went undrafted. So
right.
So it's not always about that. But
no.
Speaking of, we wanted to actually
went undrafted,
live react to some draft scouting tape on Patrick Williams. We'll do Devon Dotson as well. But I'm going to real quick share my screen with you guys. And we're going to watch some highlights because I feel like tape don't lie. You know what I mean?
Let's watch some highlights.
What do they say? Women. Oh, wait, what?
Who?
Oh, you went somewhere.
They say hips
you went somewhere with
that. But tape that. Okay.
No. But yeah, let's let's watch some tape on Patrick Williams. Goes the defense. You see the defense. Six eight, 225.
Like I said, man, one thing that
wingspan
I like about
a 7-footer pretty much.
Is the fact that
they say strengths are obviously size and length, defensive IQ, versatility. I think versatility is something that AK loves. I mean, you look at that Denver roster, just full of versatile guys.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. And like I said, man, like that Florida State team, man, like that was just a deep, very deep team. Like I think they had another kid, Vassell, I believe, that was drafted 11th.
Yeah,
So they have that team was just really deep. Really deep. So I don't pay too much attention to the fact that, he came
very
off
well
the bench.
for a big guy. And I think they said that he played point guard in high school. Yeah. So his handle on the ball is a lot better than a lot of other big men.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He had a crazy growth spurt.
Showing his ability to rebound the ball now.
Later in his high school
Great hustle on the kid.
Yeah. And one of our, we got people watching on our Facebook Live and one of our day ones, we got to get him back on the show too, Quentin.
Right.
He says that the criticism of these draft picks is warranted because of the history of the Bulls' failed draft pick. So, we going into this thing, even though it's a new regime, and I was talking to another one of our day ones, Tone. Shout out to Tone. And
his second jump ability.
we got to give this new regime a chance.
Interrupt you, but
and I know
racking off this tape, his second jump ability is
because
you're a great rebounder, Bruce. I play with you. I played with you a couple times, and as a great rebounder, because I know that you're a pretty damn good rebounder. That second jump is you can't coach that.
Well,
that's like
thank you.
Go up, miss the shot, and then you immediately go back up with the same height.
Exactly. You either got it or you don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Because what I used to do is I used to go in my backyard.
Now they're showing his range. Shooting form's a little weird, but the kid can knock down open threes.
And that's one of his strengths is his ability to raise up on his jumper because he has so much elevation. And again, like the kid is 19. He's 19, still growing, man. Like I don't know. I like it. I like the pick. We have to trust, and this is what I was saying earlier. We have to trust this new regime, and we just because we don't know.
Yeah,
most Bulls fans don't know who this kid is.
Just do your research. I didn't really know who this kid was.
Criticism because you don't know.
That's why I texted you and asked you who.
Give it a chance.
He was, and even when they picked him, I was kind of skeptical. But just do your research. I mean, the internet is your friend. I like this kid. I mean, and I saw, not just his college tape,
right?
But
yeah, definitely.
I was watching some footage of some open gym with him and some guys, and he's very fluid. Like you couldn't really see it in that tape right there because obviously he's playing organized college ball. But he has really, really good handles. Like they weren't lying when they said this kid played point guard in high school. You can tell his game is a lot fluid than it's a lot more fluid than it's seeming there. So I feel like if he has a little bit more freedom to play to his strengths, you'll see a lot of that fluidity in his game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing with college ball too. Is it's very team structured. So if you have you don't really know. I look at it. You look at a team like I said. That Florida State team was very deep. You look at a team like Duke and the Kentuckys, and it's NBA players at every position. So if you think you're gonna see someone on those type of teams put up, 20, 30 points a game, that's not happening. That's not happening when you have a team full of NBA players. So I'm just
Bulls' second round draft pick
for
was
Patrick Williams.
I'm trying to find his name. It was a stash away player, which makes sense because the Bulls have so many players under contract.
Yeah, that was
obviously he didn't want to make any trades.
Right.
At least not yet. So, I mean, you still have free agency going on as well. So with so many players under contract, it makes sense that they picked a stash away player in the second round. Don't want to go too much into that because we're not going to see him for a while. But the undrafted kid, yeah, something like that. Sounds right.
Right.
Undrafted
Marco
kid.
Simonovic.
Devon Dotson. Hometown.
Yeah.
He's from Chicago. Grew up a huge Derrick Rose fan. And I didn't know who this kid was either.
Yeah.
I mean, he played for Kansas. That's a big basketball school. But I was watching some tape on him, and we'll watch some highlights here in a second. But I really like his game. And I'm actually kind of surprised that a kid that averaged almost 20 points per game at Kansas went undrafted.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts of Devon Dotson?
Very so once again, man, it's one of those things where you just don't know. You don't know with kids like that, because you look at a kid like Devon Dotson and it makes you wonder, like, how did he go undrafted? You know, the thing about him is he's very fast. Very fast. And I'm talking about, you want to talk about somebody that pushes the basketball. Like, oh my God. Like this kid, he fits the mold of a modern day, you know, score first type point guard. His weakness is that he's and this is probably the reason why he went undrafted. Is because, you know, in today's game, the point guard, you got to be a big point guard. And so he's small. He's small for an NBA point guard. I think he's only like 6'1". And his wingspan is not that long either. It only measures out to him to be like either 6'3" or 6'4", whatever. The 3-point shot, the jump shot, it's not really that great. It definitely needs some improvement. At times, because he plays so fast paced that turnovers could be a problem.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, that kid dropped 20 playing for Kansas. So, I mean, why not? Why not take a chance on him? He's you know, I think he's the two-way, right? So he'll play in the Bulls development.
Did sign a two-way contract with the Bulls,
right? Something like that. So
which I think is smart.
Yeah, I just,
because again, they have so many guys under contract. But he did average just over 18 points. For Kansas last year, and his weaknesses are his shooting, his spot up shooting, and his catch and shoot. It's his known weaknesses. He only shot 30% from 3-point last year, which is not good.
Right.
But I mean, the Bulls, while shooting would be great, they need a playmaker. And and I'm about to play this kid's draft tape now. He's a very good finisher. He only averaged what was it? He only averaged 4 assists, but his vision, and you guys will see here in a second, his vision says it's not his vision. I think he was just asked to score more in Kansas than be an assist pass first guy. But let's just play his tape
because of the team that he played for.
You guys will see.
Right.
Yeah, so he's a Chicago native, grew up a huge Derrick Rose fan. You guys will see the info. Obviously, he's wearing the number 1. 6'2", 185, wingspans a little over of a guy's of 6'3". So he's a small dude, especially in today's NBA. Did average 2 steals per game, which is, this is another kid who, two-way player, likes to play defense. And you'll really see a common theme in this in terms of his ability to finish at the cup.
Great.
Yeah. Notice, in Kansas, you'll see.
Exactly, yeah.
You'll see them put him in a lot of pick and roll situations, which, again, is very Derrick Rose. Like, make him, use that speed.
Yeah.
Either finish at the cup or if he draws the double, pass it out.
And the crazy thing about Dotson is, I mean, he shot almost 47% from the field, and that's just him getting to the bucket. Like, imagine if he does develop
his ability to finish is already there, as you guys can see.
Like, jump shot, almost what that could do for
every
his
single
game.
one of these plays is him driving to the cup and finishing. Now, he's not super athletic. Yeah. He's not Derrick Rose athletic, where he's just going to yam on you, obviously. But I mean, what does it matter as long as the ball goes in the hoop?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you had to compare him, for those that don't know, haven't watched him play, if you had to compare him to anyone, I would say Corey Joseph. That's who he reminds me of. Corey Joseph. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, to have a backup.
Yeah, he's a great. I mean,
like that.
They're showing his vision. And this is where I'm talking about where the 4 assists is kind of misleading, because the dude has vision. He knows how to be a playmaker. But when you have speed like that coming off the bench, fresh legs, going up against a tired defense, like, that's key.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, that pick and roll is his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Bread and butter.
It is, man.
Yeah, I like this kid. Yeah. And again, I'm very, very surprised that he went undrafted. But I think he can.
It's players like those, man, like Dotson, that it just makes you wonder.
Right.
Here's a kid that scored 18 points a game in college for a great program in Kansas, and yet he goes undrafted. Why? Because he doesn't measure out to his measures aren't off the chart, like a Patrick Williams or or LaMelo Ball. So I don't know. It's just
kind of reminds me of
it's confusing. The process of drafting it can
Fred
be
VanVleet
at times.
In Toronto, it's just Fred VanVleet can shoot though, and he did just get paid, but Fred VanVleet can shoot, and that's a part of the reason why he's had so much success. In Toronto, but if he can, and now they're just showing his defense, he can also play defense. Wants to play defense. You could tell his on-ball defense is very good as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Again,
Bulls, man, I like what they did. I like what they did in
our guy,
in the draft this year.
What did he say? What did the history, right? Yeah, it did. Yeah, right. Which is what I said in the beginning.
The history of the
This Patrick Williams was a very typical pre-regime,
the Doug McDermott's,
in terms of just a two-way player, a guy it's not super flashy, doesn't do anything specific very well. Like, he's not a lockdown defender, but he's also not a great spot up shooter. He's not known for anything specific. But again, like, this is my hope in these kind of picks
Right.
is that we have better player development. We have better coaching. Mark Eversley and AK know what they're doing in terms of picking players for their system. And you just look at that Denver squad, and they built AK built a very, very formidable squad with very little star power. That's the key.
Yeah.
Like you, Jokic, who's, obviously a star. What's his name? Jamal Murray, who just kind of just arrived in these playoffs in the bubble.
Jamal Murray
as a star, but he built that team based off of like players like Patrick Williams, who just want to play defense, who know their role. You got to hope that those are the right players for this team, and then eventually we get that superstar, because we still need that superstar. Don't get us wrong. We're not trying to be like, oh, yep, this is the dude to get us over the hump. I mean, yeah, we like the pick, but we still need a superstar. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're still needing a superstar. But anyway, I like the picks. I like what the Bulls are
He's
doing.
A piece to the puzzle.
They got Garrett Temple.
So
from in free agency. He's obviously going to be a backup point guard. Nothing sexy, nothing crazy, but I can see what they're doing. They're not trying to spend a whole lot of money out there. We don't have star power right now to kind of attract free agents to really just put all of our money into and be like, yeah, let's win now. Let's win now. Because you see teams like Houston doing that. You see the Miami Heat doing that. You see obviously the Lakers doing that.
Right.
So the Bulls aren't on that level yet. Not yet. So so sooner than later. And I know we want to say that we don't want to be
hopefully soon. Sooner than later.
The lottery next year, which obviously, I mean, we want to play better this year than we did last year. But the draft next year is going to be some. If we have the fourth pick next year, we're going to have a damn good player with that pick
stacked.
So while I would love to say, hey, let's not be in the lottery next year. If we are in the lottery, I'm not going to be too mad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be too mad. But okay, let's move on to our final topic.
Okay with that, yeah.
And that's Bear down, Chicago Bears. Because they're still playing, guys. Unfortunately, Bears are still playing.
Oh boy,
we just had our bye week, so we were obviously spared the hurt and the pain that they give us every week. But it's Packers week, and it's our first time seeing the Pack this year. They're obviously top in the division with a 7-3 record. We had a glimpse of top of the division when we were once upon a time 5-1, but now we're 5-5, still second in the division because everyone in the division lost this past week. So we're still in the hunt, guys. Still in the hunt. But
right.
The talk of the week has been Nick Foles or Mitch Trubisky. And obviously Nick Foles had that ugly injury in the game against, who did we play last? I don't even remember. I feel like, was that the Vikings? The Vikings. Right. Everyone in the division lost this
the Vikings.
The Cowboys,
who, by
played
the way,
their
just lost to the
second
Cowboys.
String quarterback, and they put up points against Vikings.
The week we don't play.
Something we can do. But anyway, talk of the week has been Mitch Trubisky versus Nick Foles. Who should we start? And
anyways,
let me ask you the question, Bruce. Both guys are healthy, ready to go. Assuming so. Let's assume both guys are healthy going into this week. Who are you starting to play the Packers?
Yeah. I'm gonna start me. I'm gonna sign a 1-day contract, and I am going to play quarterback for the Chicago Bears, because what does it matter if I play, if you play, if Mitchell Trubisky plays, or if Nick Foles plays? The results are going to be the same. So I'm just at a point where I have no faith in no quarterback that plays for the Bears. So yeah, I'm going to say me or you or my 70-year-old uncle or or any of our fans that's listening or on Facebook Live. You can be a Chicago Bear quarterback. Yeah. I mean, okay, so you know what? Play Mitch.
Oh man.
Let's see what Mitch can do. How about that? All right, Mitch fans, let's just see what he could do. Let's see if he learned something being on the sidelines and watching. You know, so go ahead, throw Mitch out there. Why not? What are we gonna lose, right? I'm sorry, bro. I'm just at that point. It cannot get
if we
any
do
worse.
Throw Mitch out there, which is
it cannot get any worse, bro.
Matt Nagy had a press conference
go ahead,
today.
Throw Mitch out there.
For those of y'all who are listening to this episode, it'll be yesterday, but he had a press conference today. They asked him who is he leaning towards starting, and basically didn't say. He says that they're both dealing with injuries and will know better on Wednesday. I don't know why he thinks he has some kind of competitive advantage to say who he's starting.
Okay.
There is no competitive advantage, no matter who you throw out there.
Yeah, stop it.
But anyway, let's assume, because a lot of the Bears beat writers are saying that the quarterback that they have seen in practice is Mitch Trubisky and not Nick Foles. So let's assume that Mitch is starting. All right. Against the Packers, he's played 5 games against the Packers. He's 1-4. He has a 60 completion percentage. Yep. He averages 253 yards per game in those 5 games. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, has a passer rating of 80. It's not very good against the Packers. Yep. Maybe not terrible. About average. But yeah, I mean, I don't, even with Bill Lazor, with whatever, I mean, I don't know why Bears fans are fighting over who should start. I really don't. It seems like a waste of time. Seems like just a complete waste of time, because I don't.
I really don't.
For those Bears fans, probably more Mitch fans that are hoping that somehow, Mitch Trubisky saves the season and our offense just takes a complete hike to the top. I don't see where you're seeing it, because I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I'm done, bro. I'm just over it. I'm over it. You guys argue. Go ahead. If that makes you feel better at the end of the day, then by all means, you have the quarterback discussion of Nick Foles versus Mitchell Trubisky. By all means, have at it, because the results are going to be the same, right?
The
defense is going to do just enough to keep us in, but we're going against Aaron Rodgers. They just coming off a loss. We're going to make this defense look Green Bay pathetic defense that they have. Their defense is not good at all. I mean, the way Phillip Rivers went up and down the field. Phillip Rivers, who needed to retire 2 years ago. The way he went up and down the field against that Green Bay defense, and that's just been their story all season. Like, if it was not for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and a few other players on offense, like, this team, who knows what Green Bay will be. But with that said, the Bears are not about to all of a sudden go out coming off a bye week. We got Mitch now. We're going to put up 35 points. No, you're not. You're not.
17.
You're going to probably barely score 17 points. I'll give you 17. But nah, man, like, yeah. And that's a stretch. That's a stretch. Yeah. That's a huge stretch. But stop it. Like, stop with the, what are you arguing for? Like, man, I'm about to flip this table over, bro. Like, what are you arguing? We got people, and I've seen it on Twitter, man. I've seen it. You're literally arguing Mitchell Trubisky versus Nick Foles. Like, that's the argument. Yeah. That just goes to show you how pathetic.
Yeah, I don't understand the loyalty to
if we're arguing over those quarterbacks. Miss me with that, bro.
It's warranted. That rant is warranted because I've been trying my hardest to just scroll through that kind of nonsense on Twitter and not even look at it because it is frustrating. The fact that we're arguing over the two worst. Well, probably, yeah. You could put them up there as some of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nonsense. I do not. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Just real quick. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I just because Sam, who's watching us on Facebook Live, he makes a good point. He just and I just mentioned it. He's like the Packers their defense is all of a sudden going to look formidable. Why? Because they're playing the Bears. Every time we play a
defense, their seasonal stats go up. Somehow we play a defense that's like 22nd in the league in passing or rushing, and then somehow after they play us, they jump up to like 13th.
Yes,
and it's like
yes. Yes. Exactly. Dude, like we see it week in and week out, and it's like,
but not we got the Packers coming up.
I'm done.
And they just had a really, really bad loss against the Indianapolis Colts, so they're going to come in pissed off. It's going to be a game. It's in prime time, obviously Sunday night. I wish they would have flexed that motherfucker out of there, but
oh Lord.
Don't know why. So
flex
I mean,
that.
I don't know why the Bears Packers rivalry just like who cares? You're talking about you're gonna put up. Yeah, exactly. It's first off, it's not a rivalry. And second off, you're putting the worst offense in the league on prime time. You really want to do that? Like, why? Why?
That's what we want to do. Okay.
Why do that?
All right.
To people.
All right.
I'm sorry for non-Bears fans who are going to watch this game and just watch it just because it's football, because it's going to be rough. And another thing that Bears Twitter does, and listen, I love Bears Twitter, but what frustrates me is like after a really bad game, for example, like the one we had against the Vikings, it's like the world implodes. It's like, blow it all up, fire Nagy, fire Pace, get rid of Trubisky, get rid of Foles, blah, blah, blah. And then after that dies down, it starts to get closer and closer to game day. Then they're like, you know what? After thinking about it, I think Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky, whichever one's going to start, I think we're going to have a really good offensive week this week, guys. I think, I have faith. And it's like,
no.
It's like, where are we going to find a medium? Like, when are we just going to just sit back and be like,
no,
this offense sucks.
Yeah,
this offense sucks. So, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the delusions.
I'm there.
Like,
I'm there.
And you know who they are. Like the delusions out there just go absolutely bonkers insane when we,
definitely,
blow up a stinker on Sunday, and then the next week, the following week comes, and that cools down, and then they're like, I have some hope. Where's that hope? Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah. I was going to talk to you about bringing, because we know some Packer fans, right? Shout out to our girl Erin. She's a huge Packers fan, and we go back and forth with her on Twitter, and we just know. And I was like, you know what? Let's bring a Packer fan on the show. We talked about that, but then I thought about it. Why?
No.
Why would we bring them on the show? What can we argue to them about? Hey, I bet y'all not gonna score 27 points against us.
Yeah.
What argument nothing. Do we have against a Packer fan?
It's just a roast session. Like that's all that would be.
Come on, man.
Just a complete.
It's
and
nothing,
there's
bro.
no comebacks. We don't have.
That's
any
it. That's it
for that. Yeah, then you got to start talking about how their eyebrows look, and
it'll get personal because we don't have anything,
and like the shape of their mouth, and
right.
Then you got to start going there, and then
right.
Yeah, it's just
exactly.
It's not a good idea.
Exactly.
I have nothing to say to Packers fans other than see you next week. That's it. That's all I got.
Right. I bet y'all
you
won't
might score 28.
Us.
You might get 28.
This is so stupid, man. You might score 28. I bet you Aaron only throws 3 touchdowns instead of 4 against our defense. Stop, man. We have nothing. We have nothing as Bears fans right now.
But yeah, I don't expect this offense to look different if Mitch Trubisky does start. I think he does help our run game a tad bit. Just with his ability to, do with his running ability. Because I know Matt Nagy and them like to run a lot of RPOs, so defense has got to respect Mitch's ability to run with the football. But yeah, I don't. I'm trying, Bruce. I'm trying to pull some. I'm trying.
No, I know.
So
I know.
hard.
I'm sorry, man. I'm that guy right now.
Yeah, it's. I don't expect a close game, or maybe I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore. I don't think we're gonna get blown out because I think our defense just does not allow teams to blow us out. But I don't think it's gonna be a close game.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's the Packers.
No.
And Bears, and the Bears are terrible. Yeah. Do you have a score prediction, Bruce, this week?
Yep. 31-14 Packers. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm being generous. But 31-14.
I'll say 28-17. And I think a lot of those points that come from our end are in garbage time.
Sure. Yeah.
28-17.
Well, okay. And you know what? Man? I'm not gonna set myself up, bro, because you said like we're still in the playoff hunt.
And that's the thing.
Like,
that's the
here
thing.
we go again.
If the Bears somehow
I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. Nope.
Win this game.
Nope.
They knock Aaron Rodgers out in the first in their first drive or something. Then we're one game away from first place in the NFC North, and then everyone starts drinking the Kool-Aid again. Let me ask you something, because this is another very popular topic on the Bears Twitter sphere.
You're not getting me.
Would you rather have the Bears win out, or would you rather have the Bears lose out?
Okay. No, win out. Win out. I want this team to. I want this team to win.
Knowing that Mitch Trubisky is not going to be here next year, knowing that Nick Foles is not the future, you want them to win out. Okay.
Yes. You never know. You never know. We saw it with Nick Foles. We saw what he did with Philly, and you could call it whatever, luck, whatever. But we saw it happen. Like, win out. You never know. No, I'm not about to say
that's hogwash.
That's
is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. No. I was about to say something else, but I'm trying to be real, because it's Thanksgiving, so I'm trying to be real, real good right now. But who are we as Bears fans to just think like, oh, we big time, let's lose and no, like appreciate the wins. Like what am I missing? What am I missing as a fan? We want them to lose. So why? So we could hope that we get a quarterback? No, we won 5 games. The Jets, how many games? The Jets ain't won a game yet. So guess what? We're not getting.
I don't agree with them, but I can understand where they're coming from.
Stop it.
Because you take a look at what's got us here. It has been like without having a quarterback. And why haven't we gotten a quarterback? It's because forever we've been too good to have a top pick. We haven't been bad enough to draft that high. The one time that we did, of course, Ryan Pace picked the wrong quarterback. But that was the first time since I remember in my lifetime that we've drafted that high and had an opportunity to pick a franchise-changing quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. That's the first time that in my in my lifetime of watching the Bears that I can remember that we actually had a chance to do it. We just failed at it. So I can understand fans, wanting that because they're tired of this. They're sick of this. They don't want to see Nick Foles next year. They don't want to see Mitch Trubisky next year. They don't want to see the Bears just pick off an unwanted quarterback from another team. I mean, how many times have we done that? What are we gonna do? Go out and get Sam Darnold because the Jets don't want him? What are we gonna do? Go out and get I don't know, some other Josh Rosen, try to develop him because we see potential in him. Like, how many times are we going to just like pluck these quarterbacks that no one else wants because they had potential in college or whatever, and then just that's all we're going to do. We're going to drive up that hype train. Oh, Sam Darnold had something in him. Josh Rosen has something in him. Like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of that. I'm not saying I want the Bulls or the Bears to lose out and whatever, because of course I don't like to deal with that headache. But I am sick of the mediocrity. I am, and I can understand why Bears feel that way. Yeah. So
yeah, same here.
I don't know. Blow it up. Blow it up. Yeah, I don't think Van Egg is going to be here next year.
Let's just start over.
We'll see. Anyway, let's close out the show with our segment that we like to call What You Serving. And it's our segment where we just give a shout out to whoever, whatever, wherever, whatever, whoever, wherever. What did I say? Whatever twice? I don't know. Anyway, I'm starving, so I'm trying to get off these mics. Sorry. I'm surprised y'all didn't hear my stomach a couple times. Anyway,
hungry.
Yeah, it's our segment where we just give a shout out to whatever we want. I'll go first this time since you almost stole mine in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But okay. My what you serving this week is the HBO special on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I kind of thought that they were going to do I don't know why I thought this, but they were going to do like one last episode, like reunion episode. But it was more of like a reunion where like all the cast came together and they talked about like their favorite memories and stuff like that. And it was really, really dope. For those of y'all who have HBO, who grew up on Fresh Prince like I did, definitely go watch it. Spoiler alert though, and warning, it's gonna make you cry. If you don't cry, then something's wrong with you. Like your heart is black. Because I definitely teared up. Me and my wife both were crying on the couch.
Whoa,
I meant like not race black. I meant like just colored, like the Grinch. Maybe small. Your heart is small. How about that?
It's 20.
Sorry,
it's 20.
Did not mean race.
Yeah,
Did not mean race.
You got to be careful. You got to PC what you say.
Hey, Black Lives Matter, guys. Black Lives Matter.
Everybody's sensitive these days, right?
Yeah,
everybody's
the
sensitive
on
these
HBO
days.
was great. They go into, obviously they talk about Uncle Phil. I mean, that was, we saw that coming, and doubt. that was tough. But then they talked about the OG Aunt Viv, and what went wrong with that. I know that there was a bunch of rumors out there as to what happened, but it was really cool to see her and Will sit down now and kind of talk through that. And I mean, for those Fresh Prince fans, they know how much of a big deal that was, that transition from old Aunt Viv to new Aunt Viv, and the drama behind it. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, go watch. Highly suggest y'all go watch that that special on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Really dope. What you serving this week, bro?
Agreed. Yep. Man, just happy Thanksgiving to everybody, man. Like if it's just 2020 has just been crazy. So for us to, we about to celebrate Thanksgiving, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you to our listeners, everybody on Facebook Live, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everybody that showed us, that's been showing us love. And just to everybody in general, man, just happy Thanksgiving. Like, just take a moment to just appreciate where you're at with your family. Be safe, be smart. I know, we got the COVID. Just take this time to just appreciate just your family members, man. Like, don't forget the drama. Don't worry about who bringing the cranberry sauce or the dressing or the mac and cheese. Don't worry about, just appreciate your family. Appreciate your family, because 2020 has shown us that definitely. You cannot take the people that you love for granted. Because before you look up and this disease and everything that's happening, it's been crazy. So just appreciate being with your family. However you celebrate Thanksgiving, just take a moment and just kind of reflect on what you're thankful for. Try and find something that you're thankful for.
I second
that.
And
just enjoy the moment.
I second
enjoy
that.
Enjoy the moment.
And super emphasis on be safe, because I was reading a stat somewhere that said, especially if you're in the city area, Chicago area, they said somewhere that, like, if you're in a group of, even if it's just like your family, like your aunts, cousins, uncles, whatever, at the rate that COVID is going right now, it's 1 out of every 10 people has COVID, and they either know it or they don't know it. So that's a lot of people.
Right.
It's a lot of people. So if you have to do a Zoom Thanksgiving, you cook your own thing and then Zoom call all your family members, see what they're cooking, and it could be like a cool little fun thing. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell y'all how to celebrate, but I'm just saying be safe, be mindful, especially if you have older family members.
Just be safe. No doubt.
Be very mindful of those kind of things.
Right.
But
right.
Anyway, thank you all for listening. We appreciate it so
no doubt.
So much. All of our Patreon subscribers, we appreciate you so much. All of our people, our day ones who constantly just retweet the content that we put out and repost the content we put out, give us shout outs. We appreciate y'all so much. And the people who bought merch, we appreciate y'all so much. Just everyone who supports. I don't care how you support. If you just download an episode and you listen, we appreciate it. So,
Yes.
I'm starving. I am starving.
We do. Let's go eat.
There's one more thing I actually wanted to talk about, though.
I'm starving, bro.
Might take actually a little bit because it's kind of a deep topic.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Let's go. Thank you all for listening.
Uh-oh. Wait, what? I'm about to say what? I'm about to eat this mic.
Thank you all for listening. And on that note, talk to y'all next week.
Peace.
All right.